motivating factor? How do you handle that both through the course of a year and on a game day when you lost to a team the year before?
Just every loss you take always means you hold on to that until you can win the next game. So, I mean, you carry that wherever you go, and you hopefully bring it in the next game you play them.
How much have you thought about that loss in the last year?
I mean, you think about it. I mean, any kind of loss, it hurts you. So when you think about it, it sticks with you and stings. So, I mean, you're trying to get that taste out of your mouth.
How impressed are you the way this team has rebounded from that? Obviously, y'all haven't lost since then, including the Rose Bowl, et cetera. But what do you see about this team that's different compared to this time a year ago, Cade?
We got a good, tight-knit group of guys with us here. Just overall feeling in this locker room, people we got around us, we got a really good group of guys. Like I said just a second ago, that's really what it comes down to, the people you got around you, and we got the right people around us.
How much did some of the people who were involved in that game last year from a coaching standpoint calling out you guys for not being as physical, they knew they could get after you guys, et cetera? How much motivation did that serve for you fellas?
Quite a bit. Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Cade, as a kid who grew up watching the rivalry and around the rivalry, did you really even understand it until you got into a game like that and felt the difference in the way that the hitting is, the way that the intensity is? I mean, every game's intense, but that one obviously is different. Were you guys ready for that, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we're growing up in the state helps as far as understanding the rivalry. I mean, it's the greatest rivalry in all the sports. So when you come here, it's heightened even more to a greater magnitude at that point. So yeah, we'll be ready.
Cade, you've gotten close to CJ over the years. Just as you see him going into this game, what do you get from his mentality and how he's approaching this as a quarterback who certainly wants to beat Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great, hard-working, focused guy. I mean, that's what he's going to take into this week with him here, and we'll be ready.
Cade, what's it been like living with the loss for the last year?
I mean, nobody wants to live with a loss. It sucked. So, I mean, we're trying to get a taste out of our mouth.
Cade, you live with Tommy. He's playing with his two messed up hands. What would you want to say about how he endured his toughness?
It's a tough kid. That's my best friend. So, I mean, I'm all the credit in the world to that guy, and we'll stand beside him until we're done playing.
You played defense, obviously. I mean, how hard is it to play when either of your hands is healthy?
He's good. He's always healthy, Tommy. You don't got to worry about that.
Have you had to help him around the house more, like open things for him, or?
No, he's got her. Yeah, he's got it.
Okay.
He's got it.
What stands out to you when you watch Michigan's defense on film?
Good team, long, athletic. Just a good overall team. Be a good test for us.
Hey, you brought up Tommy Eichenberger. Somebody did. Steele's the same way. These two guys, compared to this time a year ago, what do you see that's really different about the way they're playing, et cetera, here now, almost a full season into the Jim Knowles defense? What have you noticed that's different about them?
Just good, confident, quick. There's no hesitation involved. You see it, you read it, you go get it, and that's good. That's why you got to play defense instinctual and without any restraints on you.
Have y'all talked about that? I mean, sometimes when you got a little free time, I mean about...
No, we try and keep it,
I don't mean about X's and O's, but just about the difference, you know what I mean?
When we were all on defense, we did a little bit, just trying to feel things out and how it was going to be, but, I mean, we try and keep it. We got plenty of other stuff to talk about at home. We can talk about that here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cade, when the idea of Ohio State's toughness is brought up at all, how does that make you feel? Do you have a visceral reaction to that at all?
To be honest with you, I really could give a shit what anybody else says about our toughness. I know what we got here, what we got going on with us, and I mean, what other people say outside of this program, it doesn't matter. So, I mean, we know what we got, we know what we pride ourselves on, that's what we're going to keep trying to do.
Can you describe how you think toughness factors into any football team being a great team? How important is toughness in that equation?
That's just how the game's got to be played. It's how the game's had to be played for 100 years now, and if you don't have that, you're lacking the most important piece.
What define toughness for me, though, from a football standpoint? What tells you a player is tough, a football player is tough? I mean, like I just asked Ryan Day, you guys had to win 3 games or so in the fourth quarter this year. That's a sign of toughness also, right, of being in it to the finish? I mean, what defines toughness in your mind?
That's a good question. In my mind, you can I mean, you can see it, you can hear it, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
So if you can see it, you can hear it, you can feel it, you can tell by the way somebody walks around that, I mean, he's either about it or he's not about it. That's how I know.
You said you didn't care about what people are saying from the outside about the toughness, but what were you guys saying inside about your toughness coming out of that game last year? And was it kind of a soul-searching moment for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, after every loss, I mean, there's always you trying to find why it happened, the reason why it happened, and what to do to fix it. So that's what we kind of did, kind of rallied around and found weak points and tried to hone in on that in the offseason.
Cade, you'll have an NFL decision to make after the season. Have you thought at all about this could possibly be your last home game?
No, I haven't thought. I mean, that's the last thing I'm thinking about right now is that.
Everybody's talking about
the euchre cards with 2 broken hands.
What's that?
How's Tommy holding euchre cards with 2 broken hands?
Steele's got to shuffle for him, but
Everybody's talking about toughness with the players a lot. What about the coaches? Have you noticed, has Coach Day, have the expectations been higher? Was Mickey tougher on you guys during the offseason than the year before? Like,
yeah, I mean,
players, it's not just a players thing.
everybody around the joint, the custodians, the janitors. If we're going to buy into something, everybody buys into it at this place, and that's how it's got to be if you want a culture change, or not a culture change, but a culture boost in that matter. And that's kind of what happened here, I guess.
Was it physically tougher?
Yeah, I mean,
And emotionally also?
Yeah, it's always tough. Off season's tough. Winter training's tough. Summer training's tough. Summer runs are tough. Yeah, and just heightened to a point where it helped us and broke you down and built you back up.
As you sit here right now, when you had a couple of pretty good games catching the football, how long can this last? You know what I mean? With tight ends in the past, you know what I mean? But now evolved into an integral part of the passing game, other than pass pro. What has that meant to you, Cade? Have you kind of, I don't know, proven a point, or what has it meant to you to be looked at in that regard of both a good blocker but also an integral part of catching the ball?
It means a lot. It's just super big blessing just to be able to be a part of it and put the ball in your hands with all the great talent we got around here. So really, I just look at it like, I mean, you take it day by day. As long as you're winning games, it really doesn't matter what you're catching, what you're doing, as long as you're doing what you got to do to win that game.
Yeah, but you look at any kind of big-time game anymore, I mean, NFL, whatever, a lot of times the tight end makes the big catch, or a couple of big catches which make a difference. Do you sense that too, that just could come down to a catch by you on Saturday? You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you think about that ever since you were a kid. I mean, you're playing in the backyard. It's always came to put yourself in a scenario, whether it's the last shot of basketball and you're up at the court with the light on underneath it, and you're shooting the same shot 27 times and thinking, in your mind, you're counting down to 5, 4, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you put yourself in that situation to where if it does prevail itself, to where, I mean, you're ready to do it.
How much has CJ being willing to run the last several games helped this offense, in your opinion?
Like I said, I mean, he's very talented, very athletic, gifted, smart guy, and I mean, the ball in his hands is always a safe place.
The 30-catch milestone, you're the first Ohio State tight end to pass it in 19 years. I'm sure you've heard a lot about this. Is that, I know you're a team-first guy. Does that mean anything to you, getting passing the 30-catch milestone?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys are the ones that said I'd catch about 10 of them, but I guess it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, I mean, it's all right. It's just what, I mean, that's just the way it's shaked out now, and I mean, we're going to keep building on it.
But we've seen a lot of starry-eyed tight ends, you know, go into a season thinking they're going to get those catches, and they didn't. What do you think you proved in the receiving game to make you valuable up to this point?
I don't know.
Is it to run after the catch? I mean, go ahead.
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not the right guy to ask about that.
Yeah.
Is there an NFL tight end you kind of model yourself after? Is it a combination of guys like Kelsey?
Jeremy Shockey.
Shockey?
Yeah, I love Jeremy Shockey. I love Gronkowski. Those are the two ones I watched a little bit of Mark Andrews, and yeah, that's really about it.
Cade, I'm sorry to ask about this, but given that you're from Ohio and you grew up watching this rivalry for most of your life, Ohio State has dominated this. Did you take it any more personal coming off of last year's loss? And how have you seen your teammates kind of respond throughout the offseason to that loss?
Yeah, I mean, you lose a football game, I mean, it hits home, and especially at a place like this, you lose a football game and lose a big one like we did last year, it hits home, and I mean, you basically just try and hone in on what I said earlier, and as far as the points and weak points and whatnot, and just grow on those and be ready for next year.
Your redshirt year, what do you remember about the game? Obviously it worked out very well for you guys. What do you remember your redshirt year in 2018?
The only thing I travel, I think I was sitting on my couch at home with my parents.
No, that game was
Are you
here.
still in high school?
No, I was still in high school.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
you were.
Oh, that's right. It was so long ago. You're still in high school. My fault.
No, you're good.
19 was your first
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
My fault.
y'all got robbed of 20, right?
Yeah, we didn't play. Yeah, we didn't play 20.
How much of a hole did that leave with that team of not getting to play that game? Not that anybody's to blame, but I mean, what
Right.
did it feel like? Almost unfulfilled season in some respects, although y'all did play for a national championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. That whole year was just weird. Just the way things shook out and the way you could walk in here one day and then walk back out 20 minutes later because there's too many positive cases. So it's just weird. Just kind of one of those years you just kind of put behind you.
A lot of people saw this game coming months ago, that it could be 2 versus 3 or 1 versus 2, undefeated and stuff. Did you kind of get a sense that this collision was going to happen this year, Cade? I mean, as a player, I mean, did you kind of keep up with what they were doing, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, yeah. But then again, I mean, up to this point, you still got 11 other teams you got to play. So I mean, we try to keep our focus on that, and now just the way kind of things happen to play out here, whether we both undefeated playing this game.
But with so much up for grabs, does it enhance Ohio State, Michigan, the game? Is it enhanced by what's up for grabs?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would matter if we both were 0-11 at this point. It'd still be a very big game, and with both being 11-0, it heightens a little bit more.
Cade, how strained is it? How much anticipation does it add to it that you've never played them in this year?
Just, I mean, it's really not something we really think about until somebody tells me about it. So, I mean, we're excited. It'll be a good game for us. It'll be a good game for the fans and this whole state. So we're excited to play.
All right, thank you, Cade.
Thanks, Cade. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Cade.